Our learning target today, we are learning to divide shapes into fractions. To be successful, we can accurately divide a square into various fractions. Hey, third grade mathematicians, so good to see you again. Thank you so much for tuning in, staying up on your packets, and that continuous learning. I couldn't be more proud to be teaching you right now. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be working on the second part of your math this week. It should say math lesson 12, fraction, draw, and compare, okay? So it's going to look very similar to last lessons where we were comparing fractions. This time it's going to be a little bit of a step up in the challenge, okay? So go ahead and flip to this first page. If you need a little more time, mathematicians, go ahead and pause the video until this is out in front of you, okay? And it should say fraction, draw, and compare. And let's read the first question, okay? Divide each square into the number of pieces you need to model the fraction. Then shade in the correct amount, okay? So the first one is done for you. You can see the example is 2/8, or 2/8. And you can see they've divided their square into how many equal parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each of those parts is equal, so they are fractions. And they've shaded in how many out of the 8? They've shaded in 1, 2. So 2/8 are shaded in. So they've done their job there. Now let's look at this first one, A, which is asking us to do 2 out of 4 equal parts. So if we were to use our whiteboard, and I'll draw that square, I'll do the best I can because that's what we do in here. That's our precept or our model. We always try our best. Is it a perfect square? No, probably not. But I did the best I could, and that is great. So we're trying to divide this into 4 equal parts. So if I divide it into 2 equal parts, we have 2 halves here. So I'll need to break those halves in half again, and I'm going to do that this way. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So how many do I need to shade in now, mathematicians? That's right, I need to shade in 2. So there's 1, and there's 2. Now, mathematicians, some of you may have divided yours into 4 equal parts a different way. Here's one way you may have done it, is you started with your halves, and then you divided those halves in half again. These parts are all the same size because we've taken the same size square and we've broken it up into 4 equal parts. So if you decided to shade in 2/4 this way, guess what, mathematicians? That's correct as well. So there might be different ways of doing this, but you land at the same answer. As long as 2 out of those 4 equal parts are shaded, you got it. Now, our next question, B, is asking us to do 3/4. So mathematicians, whether you broke it up this way or whether you broke it up this way, all we need to do is shade in 1 more fourth. So it might look like this. And that is 1, 2, 3 out of 4 equal parts, or 3/4. Or it might look like this. And that is 1, 2, 3 out of 4 equal parts. 3 out of 4, or 3/4. Just like in your last video, the way I like to remember greater than, less than, and equals to, that is an alligator mouth, okay? The alligator is really hungry. It wants to eat as much as it can, okay? So it's always going to be facing the bigger number with its mouth, mathematicians. That's the way I like to remember. So knowing what we do now know about the greater than or less than, let's look at the first problem on question 2 together. So we're comparing the 2 fractions, 2/4 and 3/4. And up above on question 1, you've already answered this. So your 2/4 should look something like this, where 2 out of the 4 equal pieces are shaded in, and your 3/4 should look something like this. With 3 out of the 4 equal pieces shaded in. So mathematicians, if you were to compare 2/4 to 3/4, which one is bigger? That's right, 3/4 is bigger. So which way should our alligator mouth be facing? Well, remember, it's really hungry. It wants to eat the bigger number. So if 3/4 is the bigger number, we'll have it going this way. Mathematicians, I'm going to let you try the rest of the problems on your own. Remember, if you get stuck, you can call your teacher for help or use the answer key in the back of your packet if you get stuck. Good luck out there, mathematicians. You got this.